Okay, good evening. I'd like to call this village board of the Village of Carpentersville together tonight, February 6, 2018 at 7 p.m. Kelly, please call a roll.
Trustee Humper,
Here.
Trustee Lawrence,
Here.
Trustee O'Sullivan,
Here.
Trustee Rayberg,
Here.
Trustee Burroway, Trustee Frost,
Here.
President Skillman.
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for our invocation by Pastor Adam.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. I'm Adam Parchert, the pastor over at H2O Church here in Carpentersville. I'd like to open us in a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, I ask for your wisdom, peace, and harmony to be with us during this meeting. As residents and leaders in the village of Carpentersville, may our focus and our purpose be on achieving what your servant, Mother Teresa, said when she prayed, Lord, make us a channel of your peace, that where there is hatred, we may bring love, that where there is wrong, we may bring a spirit of forgiveness, that where there is discord, we may bring harmony, that where there is error, we may bring truth, that where there is doubt, we may bring faith, where there is despair, we may bring hope, where there is shadows, we may bring light, and that where there is sadness, we may bring joy. Heavenly Father, we ask that you would just guide us and lead us during this meeting, and it is in your name we pray. Amen.
Just good evening, everybody. I just wanted to let everybody know that we do have a new camera, everybody up top there. So our camera, our WGN camera is gone now. So we're also going to add another camera up top here so we can get who's doing our presentation and then the screens, and eventually add some monitors, hopefully around so everybody can see from where you're sitting instead of having to move. So. Mr. Huber.
I'd like to also take this opportunity to introduce our new legal counsel, David McCardle from Zukowski Flood, or Rogers Flood McCardle. They're a firm out of Crystal Lake. I've worked with them in the past. They've got excellent credentials, and I believe they're going to be a welcome addition to the village of Carpentersville. So if you get the opportunity, please say hello. Dave, would you care to share anything?
Yeah, I know none of you know me, except maybe Mark. And I know John for, a couple weeks here now. So we distributed a blue pamphlet with all of our information and some introductory material. We also distributed a book that we've written on the topic of municipal law, which is useful. And if you have any questions, off hours, just call. Our numbers are in there. And we're on the website. You can check that out as well. Another guy, Brad Stewart, an associate of mine, will be here as well. He'll be the principal in the seat here. He happened to have a conflict on meetings, so he'll be here a little later after that conflict's over with. We're good going forward, though. We've kind of looked at the dates, which is, we try and work out our nights. We're out every night doing these things, and so Brad's good with the evening that you've all selected. So I appreciate being here, and just ask me any questions you have whenever.
Okay, thank you. All right, Kelly, any proclamations or resolution rewards?
None tonight.
Okay. Appointments, confirmations, administrative oath. We have an appointment of Jennifer and Ann. If I can have a motion, please, to appoint them.
I'll motion. I'll second.
We have a motion by Trustee Rayberg, second by Trustee Humper. Roll call, please.
Trustee Frost,
Yes.
Trustee Humper,
Yes.
Trustee Lawrence,
Yes.
Trustee O'Sullivan,
Yes.
Trustee Rayberg.
Yes.
Okay, appointment carries, correct? Motion carries. And Jennifer's here tonight. Jen, if you want to come up and give a half-hour speech on the 30 seconds, please. If you'd like to. We want to say hello and where you live and
So I'm from the west side of Carpentersville, and we can start to really get the opinions of both sides of the community about getting
Great, thank you.
Thank
And-
you.
Congratulations.
And Kelly will get your email if she, so she can send you the information on the meetings and stuff, so. Okay, our next item, item B, is reappointment of the following members of the Park and Special Events Commission, Mary, Don, and Dennis, as you can see on the agenda. Can I get a motion for that, please?
All motion? I'll second.
Motion, trustee Rayberg, second, trustee Humford. Humfer, roll call, please.
Trustee Lawrence. Yes. Trustee O'Sullivan.
Yes.
Trustee Rayberg.
Yes.
Trustee Frost.
Yes.
Trustee Humfer.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Just real quick, obviously you see Mary, Don, and Dennis. Don was our volunteer of the year. Everybody remembers seeing him a couple weeks ago. He's been in charge of the Christmas tree lighting, I think. He's done a great job with that, doing our presentation. So very excited to have them all back on the board and commission, I'm sorry. And Dennis is really involved. He usually gets us a tree donated every year for Arbor Day, so, and all the little tree leans or whatever they're called for the kids, correct? So, okay, next item, item C. Can we do C and D together?
You can.
We'll do C and D together. Reappointment of Sarah Miller to the Parks as the chairperson and reappointment of Russell Moorhead to the Police Pension Board.
I'll motion to pass this.
I'll second.
Okay, motion, trustee Humper, second, trustee Rayberg. Roll call, please.
Trustee O'Sullivan.
Yes.
Trustee Rayberg.
Yes.
Trustee Frost.
Yes.
Trustee Humfer.
Yes.
Trustee Lawrence.
Okay, motion carries. Next item, public comment. Any public comment?
None.
No? Okay. Next item would be consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda will be enacted in one motion. There will be no separate discussion on those items unless the trustee so request, in which the item will be removed in the general order of business and considered in its normal sequence of the agenda.
I'll motion to pass the consent agenda.
Okay, we have a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Humfer, second by trustee Frost. Roll call, please.
Trustee Rayberg.
Yes.
Trustee Frost.
Yes.
Trustee Humfer.
Yes.
Trustee Lawrence. Trustee O'Sullivan.
Yes.
Right along.
The motion carries. Thank you. Next item, reports of manager and staff.
Mr. President, thank you. We've got a majority of the clergy committee here, and I think, who's the spokesman? I don't see Pastor Ball.
Pastor Ball,
Oh,
right
there you are, Pastor Ball. We're,
His nice wife is here. She's a lot nicer, so.
sorry I didn't see you there. So, Pastor Ball, you have the floor. You've got, okay, he's got it. Okay.
All right. Well, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm thankful to have the opportunity to share with you guys the Carpentersville Clergy Commission, the newly reformed, and just want to go over a couple things with you. Appreciate you guys receiving us into the village agenda for tonight. And I know it looks pretty scary that a pastor has a microphone and a notebook full of paper. But no worries, I'm going to be brief. Be real brief with you guys. But just want to share just a few moments. There's something that the present and the future have in common, and that they both require a history. And I want to share with you guys tonight just a little bit about the history of the Carpentersville Clergy Commission, and then go into the present, obviously, and into the future. But I do have a presentation I want to show you guys in a moment. But we actually started back in 2007. At the time, our village manager was Bill Sardo, and we began kind of at a time of some challenges in our village and just in the community in general. And so one of the things we talked about amongst the clergy was to form a group of pastors that would come together and regularly pray, just kind of fellowship together. And that began in 2007, and we appreciate what we've done at that time. There were actually 10 original pastors that were involved in the original clergy committee. Over time, we existed up until about 2011. We did several outreaches, prayers, Christmas celebrations. We did different fellowships at the school district. So there was a lot we did. We utilized, even in this room here, to have a couple of prayer things because the weather was cold outside. So there were a lot of things that we had in common together. And I believe that since it's such a new board, I think Trustee Humfer is the one remaining from back in 2007 when we first started out, and I appreciate that. What we do recognize is that we've always had the support of the village. So thank you very much for that. It does mean moving into now, the reason why there was a breach between 2011 and 17 is simply most of the pastors were relocated. And Pastor Phil and I were kind of here for the maybe 5 or 6 years, and we serve as chaplains, of course, and we do a lot within the village with his mentor. But over the years, we've seen a lot of great churches, pastors come to Carpentersville. And back in, I believe it was January of last year, at the time, Pat Schultz, our former trustee, came to me and we talked. And of course, with the help of the village president at the time, Ed Ritter, we worked together to reform, and we went out and reached out to the majority of the pastors, if not all of them, for them to be involved. And we have tonight seven churches that are involved. I want to introduce them, if that's okay to you guys, so you guys all recognize, you know me and you know my wife. Everyone knows my wife but me, so that's okay. So that's fine. My better half, right, President Scott?
Yeah, correct, thank you.
That's correct, thank you. And so we have, Pastor Adam Parchett of H2O Church. Mm-hmm. We have Pastor Tom and Lori Totten of Testament of Love Church here in Carpentersville. Have Pastor Mark Frusty. He is from Faith Lutheran Church on Helm. We have, of course, Pastor Phil of Fox Valley Baptist Church. We have Pastor Bob Witt, who actually is an associate pastor at our church that is with us. And, of course, my wife, you all know her, it's Pastor Shauna. In absence, we have Pastor Ed Lyskow of Carpenter's House Church. He is a member as well, and I believe I've covered it. And, of course, Pastor Julio and Leanne Roman of Faith View Church. They host church at Fox Valley Baptist. So we have what we feel like a good representation of Carpentersville: diversity, commitment, and love. So with that being said, I just want to kind of go through a couple of things here with you guys, just about who we are in the midst of working on our brochure. So I'm going to kind of maybe turn a little bit with the microphone, if that's okay, and
Yes,
kind of
please.
work together through this here. I'm going to start maybe over here with kind of who we are. Just kind of read it from this one here. It's easier. Who we are is simply the Clergy Commission is a nonprofit organization, voluntary fellowship of local multicultural clergy from various denominations who are dedicated to serving together to establish a greater unity and awareness of the love of Jesus Christ to our community. And this is essentially what we do. We work together as the body to hopefully impact our community in a greater way. Kind of going through some of these things, our mission is humbly working together through prayer, events, fellowship, to show the love of Christ to our community. Our mission, our vision, who we are, has something in common. It's always about the love of Christ. And so we are from different backgrounds, different denominations, but we all come together on that one premise, that common denominator, which is the love of Christ. And so we appreciate having the opportunity to stand in the village to present this. Our vision simply says we're uniting to share the love of Christ simply because we care. We're here tonight. We're here since 2007, and we're here now as the newly reformed commission. In 2017, September, we actually incorporated as a nonprofit organization, and so we actually do things together. We've had several services, several prayer events together. Our intent is actually to reach our community. We support through mentoring programs. We support our schools through the programs. We've done some outdoor outreaches and reaching the neighborhood, not from Foxview to Morningside. This year we plan on going further. Each year we want to do more. Our target goal last year was Morningside, and Pastor Phil and Pastor Julio, they reside in that area of church, so we want to come alongside of them and help disciple that area. And this year we want to add into the Indian section where Pastor Mark and Pastor Ed, their church is located. So our goal is to come alongside, have a great big barbecue, hot dogs, hamburgers, and fun and games, and just help them reach their community. So the goal is, in each area of the community, is to plan outreaches to reach those that live in the area. And so the intent throughout the rest of the time that we have here on this earth is to reach all of Carpentersville. Wherever there are churches, we want to come alongside and help those churches reach the community. So with that being said, Just kind of looking at our calendar of events, and I'm going to share some areas where we feel like you guys could help us in terms of Carpentersville. So as being newly reformed, we have a drive and an energy really to come alongside of what we do here in Carpentersville. We feel like Carpentersville is a great town and has a lot of great potential. And so in this branding process and really identifying who we are, we support Carpentersville 100%. And so you'll see us a part of, previously the yard sales, the Civil War reenactment. We're there just because we're part of the community. When you see, Carpentersville, we want you to also see the clergy. And it reflects, again, ladies and gentlemen, it reflects our city, the diversity. So the next one is our core values. The core values: Christ, caring, community. Okay, Christ simply meaning that we worship together, we pray together, we support each other, we undergird each other, we undergird our community. We're here. And we've been here for years, and we plan on staying here. Caring, some of our services we offer, obviously, chaplaincy services we offer, resources. We become a good resource bank for our community. We work through food pantries a lot. I mean, we volunteer our services a lot in the community. So we're here and invested in the community. Events, which we support a lot of through the community, like as I said before, from the yard sales to the National Night Out to all the events that Carpentersville hosts, we're pretty much there, or a representative is there to support all of our events of Carpentersville. So we are on Facebook. We have a website. We have everything in place. And our mission, I go on to that, is that what we ask of you. From history, you guys have always supported us. From the board to the president to the village manager, even now. So the first thing we ask is this: your continued support. Your continued support as we continue to reach the community. On a more tangible basis of support, we ask that, in times of being able to utilize village property as we do our prayer night, our National Day of Prayer out front, weather permitting. Hopefully this year we'll have good weather so we're not freezing out there. Also, even being able to use Carpenter's Park sometime for big gathering of bringing the whole community together to be able to just do things as one village. So those are some of the more tangible asks, and we do appreciate some of the things you guys have done before, as I thank Bob Cole and working with our previous manager and president and doing signs for our events, which we've done those, which are great. We can reuse them. And as we add in events, we want to be able to just have access to that so it's publicized throughout the community. And so with that being said, that's kind of a 2-minute overview. I know it's been more than 2 minutes, but a quick overview of who we are. And I'd be happy to entertain any questions or comments. But those of you that know us, we've been here, we've been committed here, and we don't plan on going anywhere. We want to be like a tree planted, so you won't pull us up. Our roots are deep. So any questions or comments for any of us? Yeah, thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
Trustee Humfer?
You guys have been doing a great job, and we really appreciate it. Us that have been on the board, and I'm sure the new board members appreciate all the work you guys put in, and you're part of our link to the residents, and it's really an important commission, so we really appreciate all the work you guys do. Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you, Trustee Humfer, because you've been here the longest on the board, and you've seen us kind of grow and work together, and so we appreciate your support.
You've grown nicely.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
And just so everybody's aware that Pastor Phil and Pastor Ball are chaplains for police and fire. So we've spent lots of bad nights together and days together in the past. How many years? 10, Pastor Phil?
Pastor Phil.
Longer for you, right?
Yeah.
12 years for you, 10, 12,
It's been about
15.
going on 10 years.
10
yeah,
years.
At least, yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, we've called them out for suicides, from everything, to talk to the families, when we're trying to deal with the scene and everything. So, but thank you again, you guys. Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, very good.
Again, we're here, so whatever we can do to help. You know my number, obviously.
We have a lot of work for you. A lot of work ahead.
Yep. So thank you guys very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and President Skillman's got, thank you, Pastor Ball. Let's announce our new businesses.
New businesses. First of all, I'd like to call up Jeff Ashton, please. So Joanne and Jeff own a new artistry dance and company on Western Avenue. So we're very excited for them to come out tonight. We're trying to start a new tradition and bring all the businesses in to stop in, and we can put their advertisement on the website, I believe, Kev. We can advertise a little bit for them then. Only if they show up, of course. No, I'm kidding. So,
I'm not the dancer.
so you want to tell us a little bit about your
Yeah,
business, please?
So happy to be in Carpentersville, part of it. My wife and I have lived here now for 5 years. She's been dancing for 30 years. She danced professionally for 10 years out in LA and New York. So the last couple years, she was a teacher at a competitor, another studio in the area, and she decided to kind of throw her hat in the ring of this industry, and she had an amazing following. So she, even before she opened the studio here in January, she had about 40 dancers follow her. So she'd been renting space at different studios around the area, and so we decided that we wanted to come to Carpentersville and kind of put down some roots. So super excited about being here, and
Great.
I think it's a great area. What age group? She goes from literally 2 to 17. Awesome. And she has it's a studio and a competitive company. So I was supposed to make that announcement.
Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah. Again, I don't know anything about dance. So couldn't answer.
Well,
any
thank
questions.
you. And you're located
198 South Western Avenue. It's the
Spring Hill Marketplace.
Marketplace.
So up by Southern Bell, up there, you guys?
Yeah, it's actually right next to Big Lots.
Okay, right next to Big Lots.
Yep.
Great. Thank you. Let
Thanks.
me give you your license, sir.
Right.
Can we get a quick picture, Michael? Chief?
I didn't bring that camera.
I know you didn't. So. Fancy camera.
Should have brought your wife for the photo.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Thank you.
Okay. You want to read these? I can't even pronounce that. What is that?
That's El
Oh, that's a new one.
Ranchito, right. Well, located on 75 Kennedy. Carlos Cepeda's the owner, the Mexican restaurant. They replaced Golden Pollo.
If everybody remembers that location, it used to be a Kentucky Fried Chicken, right? For all us old timers here in town. So.
We have Royals that just, we had a grand opening there, 300 West Main. Jamie Arthur's, and that's Gaming Cafe. And we already introduced.
Joanne and Jeff, artistry, dance. So those are our businesses this month. So hopefully we'll have a nice list every month for everyone to hear, and we'll put that on our website and get some advertisement out for you. Oh, please. Okay. Okay, next item, old business. Any old business?
None.
Okay, new business. Item A, a resolution waiving committed bidding requirements for authorizing the village manager and enter into agreement temporary staffing of the Village of Finance Department. Oh, there you go.
I'll motion to pass this resolution.
We have a motion
I'll second.
and a second. A motion by Trustee Humper, second by Trustee Rayberg. And we do have a quick overview. Thank you.
Before we get started, I just wanted to note one thing, if I could. You'll see on here, it's a resolution waiving competitive bidding requirements. And Hitesh will explain why we need to do it in this case, but I just wanted to point out those words. I know there's a question on that throughout. Thank you. Throughout the village code, we have a requirement for bidding. But that's why we need to waive the competitive bids, and in this case, we really do need to do that. But we are looking at the opportunity to do different things for professional services, proposals and RFQs. So there is still going to be requirements to do bids, and there may be opportunities or needs to waive it, such as this case. But in the next month or so, we'll be working with our new legal counsel to change our code and make it more clear, our processes on services and obtaining proposals or qualifications depending on the case or when we actually need bids. So I just wanted to caveat that. Now with that, Hitesh is going to explain why we need it in this case.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Manager Huber, and good evening, President and the village Trustees, the finance department periodically uses the services of the staffing agencies to get the temporary people to help us in the customer service, entertain the phones from the residents, and most importantly, do the cashiering work at the front desk. In the past, we had used the staffing agencies as well as some of the employees on a permanent part-time. And it serves two purposes. First, financially, it saves a lot of money in terms of cost because we don't end up paying the pensions, health insurance cost, and some of the other related costs for an employee. Secondly, when we use the staffing agencies and all that, even we are not subject to any taxes and all that. And the other important thing is the coverage. More than a full-time employee working 40 hours, sometimes we need that overlapping coverage. So somebody works in the morning shift from 8:30 to 2, and somebody else works from 2 to 5, or some of those second and third Thursday, where we are open until 7. So considering those hours and the financial things, it makes sense to use either the staffing agencies or the employees on a permanent part-time. Now, as Manager Huber mentioned, why we have to do this, we're kind of waiving a bit. There are like 8 to 10 agencies I reach out to, and I ask them for the resumes, and they generally send me a 2, 3, 4 people resume. We kind of, based on the resume, short out, and finally we call out maybe a 2 or 3 people from the same agency or from 2 or 3 different agencies for the interview, and we just conduct a brief 10, 15-minute interview, and then decide to go with that. So obviously, yeah, I mean, if you ask me right now, I can't tell you that, okay, which agency would provide me the right person who would fit the needs of the village of Carpentersville. That's why I need that kind of flexibility to reach out to the several agencies, and based on an interview, we can figure it out who would be the right fit. Obviously, when we hire somebody through a staffing agency, we think in a positive sense that we would like that, he would fit into our environment, he would be a right fit for the kind of the work we need from him, and we can transition him into a permanent part-timer. And on a long run, when we have a permanent part-time, that's even better or the cost-effective solution than to pay the staffing agency. And so considering those aspects, yes, I mean, I talked to the manager, Huber, first, and the others, and I said, yeah, I mean, let me just reach out to the board and have this kind of approval from the board so I can go to the agencies and find the right person.
Any questions? Sounds great.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we have the motion and we have a second, so roll call, please.
Trustee Humper?
Yes.
Trustee Lawrence?
Yes.
Trustee O'Sullivan?
Yes?
Trustee Rayberg?
Yes.
Trustee Frost?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Next item will be trustee and committee reports. Trustee Humper.
Thank you. I want to report tonight on the business, I'm sorry, Business Development Commission. And I'm sorry, just going through the notes. So we're off to a great start with our rebranding process. It's very exciting. We moved today into peer community interviews, and we got a really nice turnout. We had 22 different partner organizations, including the Clergy Committee, as well as businesses participate in providing feedback on what they think is how the village is performing, where the village is headed, what are its strengths, what are the positive things coming towards the village, and different areas of the village that may or may not shed different perceptions about the village. So a lot of that was considered today. Now within the next week or so, we're going to be releasing the survey, and that'll be for residents to fill out. We're looking forward to as many of our partners to try to identify at least 10 people that you know that would be interested. And this is going to be an online survey. You can do it on your smartphone if you want. You could do it online also. So we're going to be looking for some help from all of our partners there. And as I said, we're trying to get at least 1,000 responses. We're hoping to get at least that many. We'd like to get many more, but if we can get 1,000 responses, we'll consider that a good overview of how people perceive Carpentersville. So it's very exciting. We're moving forward. It's positive. I like what I'm seeing. The organization Business Districts, Inc. is very professional. They have a lot of experience in this. We have 3 of their more experienced people working on this project, and we're moving forward well. So thank you. Other than that, Clergy Committee, I really appreciate what you guys do. Thank you for being here tonight and giving us this presentation. As I said, I think you guys touch many more residents than we can individually as trustees. So we appreciate all your support, and thank you from the bottom of our hearts. That's all I have.
Thank you. Trustee Lawrence?
Don't have anything.
Trustee O'Sullivan?
Nothing to report.
Thank you. Trustee Rayberg?
This will be a quick one, too. Next Audit and Finance Commission meeting is February 27th, 6:30 at the Public Works Building, and no trustee report.
Okay. Trustee Frost?
I'd like to say kudos to the firemen again. We received an email. They resuscitated a cardiac arrest patient out in the field, and we got a thank you from the Sherman Hospital saying how professional they were and how easy it was to work with them. So kudos to you guys and the police department as usual.
And Public Works.
And Public Works.
For plowing the streets.
For plowing the streets, doing a great job. There's more snow coming, so we've got to deal with that. That's not ending here. So thank you to the clergy and the churches, too. And I want to say good luck to Brady Tennell. Good luck and do the best you can. Looking forward to watching you on TV.
Yeah, but I think Chief Kilburn put out the schedule today on Facebook that she released. Is that correct?
Yes, she released it earlier, and so I reposted it.
Excellent. I also talked to I talked to the gentleman that was involved in the cardiac arrest. His wife was involved, and I ran into him in a restaurant in Algonquin the other day, and he says, "Hey, I want to let you know that the guys were over at my house and saved my wife's life." I'm like, "Well, that's awesome." So he told me about the whole story, and it was pretty interesting. And I actually grew up with his son here in town, so just about 2 blocks away from here. So, the great news by the guys. Did a great job, and the chief followed up with that email. So, thank you. Also, we want to talk about our new businesses. So we're pushing. You know, obviously we want to advertise for them as much as possible. Try to use our own businesses in our community. So let's keep that up. We're doing a great job. We had a Parks Committee meeting the other day. Parks and Special Events, correct? All right, so we were trying to get our schedule together. So more to come on that. Our next meeting is the 21st, correct? Down at Public Works. So we're trying to finalize our schedule. And it goes back to our meeting the other day with the Clergy Committee, because they were like, hey, we want to get our schedule done. You guys get your schedule done. Let's get all of our schedules done together, right? So we're all on the same page, including the East Dundee, West Dundee, Algonquin. So we're all on the same page. So we're not overlapping and trying to have events the same time they're having events. So it's
Share that with the clergy, so if they want to include a booth or anything in the events, that you guys can participate as well.
Make sure it gets to the chamber.
yes, the chamber. That was the main point. Having Melissa involved, and the Chamber of Commerce. They have a lot of events also going on in town and in the surrounding areas. So, anyways, all good news. Everything's going well. We're happy. So, where's our next item? Where are we at? Any committee reports at all? Nothing? Okay, our next item would be closed session for item 2C1. A motion, please.
I'll make a motion for that.
I'll second.
A motion by Trustee Frost, second by Trustee O'Sullivan. Roll call.
Trustee Lawrence?
Yes.
Trustee O'Sullivan?
Yes.
Trustee Rayberg?
Yes.
Trustee Frost?
Yes.
Trustee Humper?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries in closed session.